Well, what a difference a day, and maybe 2 days actually, make. We are back into those double digits, how long the warmer air sticks around for, and what's in store for Christmas now that it's in our extended forecast in the full form.
And President Trump wants more restrictions on refugees from Afghanistan, how his remarks are impacting local Afghans.
Plus, the Packers suffer a massive blow to their defense, how the team is reacting to Micah Parsons being injured. And that is all coming up on News 3 now at 10. Good evening, and thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. We begin tonight with a look at the forecast. An extremely cold weekend across southern Wisconsin, but fortunately, a warm-up is on the way.
Thank goodness, Blaze. How high will the mercury go?
We could get into those low 40s, not once, but twice before we get into Christmas. The sensor's broken. They did not get to nearly 90 in Watertown today, but we got into those low 20s today. Some of us, Platteville, Prairie du Chien, we got into those mid-20s. For context, we only got into those single digits on Sunday. Southwesterly winds have been doing their job and warming us up over the last 24 hours. We're still about 5 to 20 degrees warmer than where we were ending the weekend. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Southwesterly winds will bring a bit of a wind chill. They'll keep our temperatures in those low teens, right around 11, 12 degrees. Certainly warmer than slipping below zero over the last couple of nights. We're already looking ahead to Wednesday night into Thursday. That's when our next big system looks to move through the Midwest. We'll take a look at, in the full forecast, what it will bring, the rain-snow mix, and then the snow, how warm we get when we see those 40s, and the brief cool down we will experience as well. That's all coming up in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. The case against some former Trump aides in the so-called fake elector scheme in Wisconsin 5 years ago will now head to trial. Today, a Dane County judge found probable cause to move forward with the case against former Trump attorney Jim Trupis and former Trump aide Mike Roman. However, another preliminary hearing for former Trump attorney Kenneth Chesbrough was postponed. The move comes after arguments about if statements that Chesbrough previously made to prosecutors could be used in court.
This would have been the proper subject matter for a motion to dismiss a year ago when complaints were filed. This is a clear sandbag. This is all for the purpose of media attention and to cause fireworks to go off in a courtroom today.
All three men are facing 11 felony forgery charges. Each of the charges carries a maximum penalty of 6 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. According to the Associated Press, the three claim they did not commit a crime and were just trying to keep all of their options open in the case in the event that the court ruled that President Trump had actually won the state of Wisconsin. And opening statements were delivered in the federal trial of Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan. Judge Dugan is accused of interfering with federal agents trying to make an arrest inside the courthouse. The case is expected to run through at least next Thursday, with roughly 24 witnesses lined up to testify. If convicted, Judge Dugan faces up to 6 years in prison.
A cyber swatting incident in Platteville that closed all of the district's schools today has been called non-credible at this point. According to the school district, the decision was made out of an abundance of caution to ensure the safety of its staff and students. An online message shared with the district Sunday evening alleged that a bomb threat was issued as a means of extortion. A special committee has been created to investigate the Wisconsin Department of Justice. State Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu said it will look into the operations, priorities, and external influences affecting the DOJ. He did not cite any specific actions by the DOJ that warranted the committee's creation, and a final report is set to be released next year on April 14th.
Well, this week, citizenship ceremonies across the country were abruptly called off for immigrants from 19 countries banned by President Trump.
Now, one of those countries is Afghanistan, after the shooting of 2 National Guard soldiers in Washington, D.C. It's brought with a wave of anti-immigrant and other vicious rhetoric against Afghan people. Some here who tell our Arman Rahman it's somewhat of a betrayal after coming here as refugees about 4 years ago.
If Kabuli pulao and tandoori chicken are new to you, that's the whole reason Chef Bakht Mohammadi.
Cooking is a habit that I love, a skill that I love.
Has been whipping them up at feeder kitchens on Madison's Far East Side since 2022.
There was no Afghan food in Madison area. We call that interfaith vigil. So we had people from the Christian community. I used to work in a restaurant when I was in Afghanistan. And then when I came here to the United States, I thought that would be a good skill for me to just cook food.
But Now he's starting to feel his new country is turning its back on his people.
I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan.
I've spoken with Sarah and Andrew's family.
We have a call in a little while, actually, right after this.
Do you plan to...
Communities are.
Looks like we're having some technical difficulties there, but you can find more information at Afghan Kabul Cuisine on Facebook, where he takes his event and catering orders.
Next at 10, an infant formula recall that sickened 51 babies is now expanding. The FDA now says botulism in By Heart formula may have been a problem since the company first started selling the organic product back in 2022. Now, botulism is a rare but serious illness caused by a toxin that attacks the body's nerves.
It's just really terrifying, and then of course you feel guilty because it's something you gave them, so it was just a whirlwind of emotions, and not to mention the having to do the feeding tube and IVs. I think that part was probably one of the worst out of all of it.
At least 4 families have filed a lawsuit against By Heart. The company says it's cooperating with federal and state agencies to determine the cause. Parents should stop using all By Heart formula immediately.
A farm in Dodge County is quarantining their cattle after a bird flu outbreak. This is the first time officials found bird flu in cattle here in Wisconsin. The Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection says there is not any concern about dairy safety at the moment because of pasteurization. For those that own cattle and poultry, they say everyone should be cautious.
So sort of looking at sources, minimizing movement of animals where possible, and putting precautions in place to isolate them for periods of time before bringing them into the rest of their herd would be some great starting points.
Veterinarians say signs that cattle may have the bird flu include reducing food, moving less, and less milk production. Since this outbreak is recent, it is hard to tell where it came from.
As we inch closer to the holidays, it's important to set healthy and clear boundaries with family members who may have some different views. Licensed therapists say setting that boundary isn't about creating distance. It's about staying connected. It's also important to accept that you can only control your response to things.
We also spend a lot of mental energy thinking about what the other person is doing, but we don't have control over them.
And mental health experts add that managing your expectations is also important. Now, if you're visiting family, explain beforehand how long you're staying and when you plan to leave to avoid conflict.
Well, some unfortunate news for the Packers today.
Yeah, this hurts. Superstar pass rusher Micah Parsons, the injury details on his knee are now official. News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde with more on how his teammates are reacting.
If you're a Packers fan, you're probably feeling like all is lost. And it's understandable. The Packers go into Denver with a 4-game winning streak. They have a 23-14 lead in the third quarter, and it looks like they're going to knock off arguably the best team in the AFC. Then Micah Parsons tears his ACL in his left knee with 55 seconds left in the third quarter, and it feels like your Super Bowl dreams are dead. If you felt that way on Sunday, you weren't the only one. Parsons' running mate, Rashawn Gary, was downright despondent in the aftermath of the loss.
We'll be missed on this defense. Y'all all know his impact. But that's give us, more guys up front, more opportunities when they come to, rush cause havoc. But, with his absence, we got to step up. Told him to keep his head up. But we're going to finish strong for him. So that's what I told him. I'm going to keep in contact with him throughout, what he's doing. But that was my first message to him. But, yeah, it hurt, bro. It hurt.
Despite his and everyone else's disappointment, the season will go on. The Packers have 3 games left, starting Saturday night in Chicago. And if they win that game, they're back in first place in the NFC North. And Rashawn Gary will be among the players they will be counting on to elevate their games to help the Packers continue in their push for a playoff berth and perhaps a division title and a home game to start the playoffs. We'll have full coverage of the Micah Parsons situation and everything else Packers on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. The Packers-Bears rivalry, it'll be one of those later games. Kickoff set for 7:20 p.m. at Soldier Field.
Well, the weather warmed up a little just in time for a good walk or run for a good cause. Tonight, the Girls on the Run nonprofit provides free programming in all of the area's highest need schools. Tonight was their third annual Bright Light Run Walk fundraiser. 2 miles through Olin Park, including all the lights. You can see they're lit up too. The organizer, Heather Ewing, hopes to grow the event and encourage women of all ages to run.
It's really to empower our young girls through movement, through mobility, and to increase their confidence. And that's a lifelong skill. And so the beautiful thing is we have girls from age 15, and I think we have women into almost their 70s that run and join us.
Kids meet after school for 9 weeks in the fall or in the spring right at their school, and they're learning important life skills like how to be a great friend, how to be empathetic, how to make healthy choices, and of course they move their bodies and they play and they train to run a 5K.
Very cool. Now, this Bright Light Run is the third Monday in December every year. And for more on how you can get involved or donate to Girls on the Run, use your link on our website, channel3000.com.
Next at 10, the manhunt is still on for the Brown University shooting suspect.
And legendary filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife are found dead in their home. We have the very latest from police as they investigate the murder.
And Blaze with more details on the warm-up that's heading our way. Stay with us.
If Kabuli pulao and tandoori chicken are new to you, that's the whole reason Chef Bakht Mohammadi.
Cooking is a habit that I love, a skill that I love.
Has been whipping them up at Fida Kitchens on Madison's Far East Side since 2022.
There was no Afghan food in Madison area. We call that interfaith vision. So we had people from the Christian community. I used to work in a restaurant when I was in Afghanistan. And then when I came here to United States, I thought that would be a good skill for me to just cook food.
But now he's starting to feel his new country is turning its back on his people.
I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan.
I've spoken with Sarah and Andrew's family.
We have a call in a little while, actually, right after this.
Do you plan to...
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
The search continues for the gunman who killed 2 students at Brown University on Saturday.
A person of interest was taken into custody but then released hours later. Investigators are still searching for this person seen walking calmly away from the scene. Today, a forensic team scoured a dumpster as officials are asking the public for any video. University officials canceled all remaining classes and final exams for the semester. And 15 people are dead, dozens more injured in that targeted attack on a Hanukkah celebration in Sydney, Australia. The gunman, identified as a father and son, used high-powered rifles to target attendees. A bystander risked his life to wrestle away the rifle from one of the gunmen and is recovering from surgery. The shooting has sent shockwaves through the Jewish community all around the world, prompting enhanced security measures, including outside of the world's largest menorah in New York City.
The son of Rob Reiner has been booked on murder charges in the deaths of the legendary director and his wife. Los Angeles police say Rob and Michelle Reiner's daughter, Romy, was the one who found them in their Brentwood home and called 911. Multiple sources tell CBS News the iconic director and his wife had multiple lacerations. Police took the couple's 32-year-old son, Nick, into custody.
Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case, he was subsequently booked for murder.
Flowers now cover part of Rob Reiner's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame as those he touched in the entertainment world share their memories.
Everything I have is because of Rob Reiner.
Personally, I think that Rob Reiner was the best director never nominated for a Best Director Oscar.
Also, President Donald Trump took to Truth Social to react to Reiner's passing, saying his death was likely the result of anger he caused others through what he called Trump derangement syndrome. Police have not mentioned anything about Reiner's death being politically motivated.
President Trump calling for retaliation following the deaths of 3 Americans in Syria. The Pentagon says 2 Iowa National Guard members identified as Sergeant William Nathaniel Howard and Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tovar and a civilian interpreter were ambushed Saturday in the city of Palmyra. The attacker was a security guard suspected of having ties to the terror group ISIS. Some lawmakers are now questioning whether the U.S. military should have a presence in the region.
I think our troops have played an important role. We are working closely with, for example, the Kurds. We have literally tens of thousands of ISIS family members in certain prisons in that area. But
so you want that to continue?
But the president, I think pulling out without a plan would be a mistake.
Syria has arrested 5 people suspected of having links to the shooting. Around 1,000 U.S. troops are still stationed in Syria.
And now to the weather, a warm-up on the way for southern Wisconsin. Blaze, could this also bring some rain as well?
We are looking at that chance for rain, at the very least a rain-snow mix, especially Wednesday night through Thursday morning. That will then transition back over to snow. We may also squeeze out a light rain-snow mix later Tuesday afternoon after temperatures climb back into those mid to upper 30s. A little bit warmer than where we should be for this time of year, but back to closer to normal. Certainly not normal for us to be in those single digits for high temperatures. So it's good to be back into those 30s. We'll do a little bit of melting, so snow lovers and those hoping for a white Christmas, I am sorry. We are going to be chipping away at that snow brought in back in after Thanksgiving over the next couple of days. There's that chance for that light rain snow mix as we go into Tuesday late afternoon. This is part of a system that is going to stay off into southern parts of Canada. And then we jump ahead to later Wednesday night into Thursday. This is when the next system will move on in, the one we've been telling you about over the last couple of days. Like the weekend after Thanksgiving, this one has a lot of moisture with it. It's not going as far south to bring us more of that snow like what that weekend, Thanksgiving weekend system did. And what's also different about this is the days prior to this system moving on in, today and tomorrow and even throughout Wednesday, a lot of warm air is going to be sitting overhead. So the moisture at first is going to be rain, and then it's going to turn back over to snow as those temperatures drop very quickly throughout the day on Thursday. We'll go from about 40 degrees to maybe 19 Thursday into Friday. So with that warm air sitting over us tomorrow and throughout the day on Wednesday, it's going to likely be a rain or rain-snow mix moving on in through the first half of Thursday into the early afternoon. After that point, the cold front passes, temperatures quickly drop. We're starting to see some snow popping up there as we go into Thursday mid-afternoon, with that snow continuing overnight into early Friday, and we may see some wraparound moisture bringing us another round of light snow later Friday night into Saturday. But in terms of accumulating snowfall, this one just is not going to be the one to keep the snow as high as it is on the ground through Christmas. We're likely going to pick up about an inch if we're lucky. Most of us will probably only pick up about a half an inch of snow or less with this system Wednesday night into Thursday. Even with that snow falling and temperatures dropping to the teens on Friday, we're back to above freezing Saturday, and then we'll hang out right around freezing Monday, Tuesday, Christmas Eve, and Christmas. So for folks who want the white Christmas, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. I really don't know what to say. I am hoping that those light snow chances Monday and then on Christmas Eve and Christmas will be enough. But in terms of big systems that would really bring in, that kind of quintessential Christmas maybe scene, it's just not in the cards this year.
We had it for Thanksgiving.
We did. We had it for Thanksgiving. Hopefully you've enjoyed it because it's lasted this whole time. But it does look like we will be in the 30s and 40s pretty much throughout the rest of the
week. Maybe it won't all melt off.
No, I think it'll be gradual.
Good.
Yeah.
I just want this cold weather out of
Right,
here.
I was going to say, we'll take it.
There's
It's
no
going to come right back.
No single digits for highs, and that is some good news.
Kay is here at the aftermath of yesterday's difficult day in Denver.
Yeah, definitely a difficult day for the Packers with the loss of Micah Parsons. That and more next on News 3 Now. Wisconsin volleyball is headed to the Final Four, and our very own sports director, Andrew Banstra, has everything you need to know about how they got there.
What Kelly Sheffield managed to pull off is nothing short of stunning. Last year, he lost his best senior class that he's maybe ever had, and that group didn't make a Final Four. This year, he replaced his entire starting rotation and retooled in not just the transfer portal, but also high school recruiting. And at the start of the year, things didn't look that great. They got swept by Texas in their second match of the season. And then in the Elite Eight, they played that exact same Texas squad. And this new look group, well, they looked new. An absolute masterclass resulted in his Badgers going into Austin and beating #1 Texas, sending the Badgers to the Final Four for the 5th time in the last 7 years.
Thought we were tough and we were together, and those are two things you have to be in this sport to be able to move forward. So we're excited to still be playing. I'm excited to still be with these guys. Love this team. Love how far this team has gone. I mean, they have grown so incredibly much from the beginning of this season, and I know nobody wants this thing to end.
It doesn't get a whole lot easier for Kelly Sheffield and the Badgers, but at this point, it doesn't look like anything can or will stop them. They head to Kansas City for the Final Four, which begins on Thursday against Kentucky. Reporting at the Fieldhouse, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
As unfortunate as it is, it was announced today that Micah Parsons did in fact tear his ACL and will be out for the remainder of the season. So what will the defensive side of the ball look like for the Packers as they make a playoff push without Parsons? It leaves the door open for players to step up in the secondary, but it also hurts guys who are going to miss seeing him beside them on the line.
Hurt to see. We'll be missed on this defense. Y'all all know his impact. But that's give us, more guys up front, more opportunities when they come to, rush cause havoc. But, with his absence, we got to step up front.
Wisconsin veteran linebacker Christian Allegrio plans to enter the transfer portal. Allegrio played in 35 games for the Badgers with 11 starts and recorded 4 sacks this season. Even though he broke his arm, Allegrio was still able to receive all Big Ten honorable mention honors for the games that he played. And we'll be right back with a check of the weather after this.
Tonight, it's the biggest, newest late show ever.
That sounds over-exaggerated.
That's not over-exaggerated.
Yes, it is.
Guest starring Paul Rudd. CBS Tonight.
I have a final check on the forecast. It's getting warmer by the day. I can take it.
Yeah, we're easing back into more of our normal temperatures for this time of year. We did make it through that Arctic blast. Send the kiddos off with a jacket tomorrow because, again, it is still going to be chilly to start. Southwesterly winds will be breezy throughout the day, so there may be a bit of a morning wind chill, also a little bit of fog. So tune in tomorrow morning with Savannah. She'll let you know the current fog visibility as you're getting ready to head off to work and let you know if there's any dense fog advisories. We're going to be sticking with mostly cloudy conditions for most of your Tuesday, a few peaks of sunshine here and there, but we're back into those mid-30s where we stay into Wednesday as well. A rain snow mix possible later Tuesday afternoon, drying out Wednesday, a better chance for a wintry mix, and then finally snow beginning Wednesday night through Thursday, wrapping up later Thursday night into Friday. We will cool off just a little bit, but we are back into those 20s and 30s Saturday through Christmas.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up next, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
And be sure to tune in tomorrow for our morning show at 4:30. Thanks for joining us, everyone.